Hey, GED students, I need you to do two things for me right now. The first thing is breathe. You're no longer intimidated by fractions. They don't scare you anymore. And honestly, I'm sick of them bullying you your whole life. Okay, we're going to deal with the fraction. That's not what I need from you. The second thing that I need is you go pick up that calculator. That's what I'm saying. The calculator will help you with the fractions if you struggle. All right, now that we've said that, um, let's go ahead and get started. So it says simplify, -5/4, and then I see that 5/4 shoved up against the parentheses, so it's multiplying. So -5/4 times the quantity, this whole grouping, of 28 minus 16p, and then closed quantity plus 1. All right. So we're simplifying, which means we're just obeying those symbols as much as we can anyway. Sometimes in algebra, as you guys know, we have to stop before it looks done to students. And when we're simplifying, we're moving forward. So we follow that order of operations in the forwards order, the one we first learned it. So we're going to deal with any groupings first, then any exponents, any multiplication and its inverse division, and finally addition and its inverse subtraction. We've got a lot of things going on here. It's important to know what to do first. So you might head directly into that grouping, and I would say to you, sure, I told you to do groupings first, but look at what's inside that grouping. It's 28 minus 16p. There's nothing to do there, right? We can only add and subtract like terms. 28 is a constant, a plain old number, and -16p, that's a variable term. It's a p term. And so they are not like, I cannot combine them. I cannot deal with this grouping. You might say, does that mean I can't do anything? Let's keep going. Let's see. Well, there's no exponents. So now it's time for multiplication. And you're not stuck because we know that lovely principle that you can multiply by passing out the multiplication to every term in the grouping. And so we're going to be able to multiply by that grouping even though we couldn't simplify it. So let's do it. The first thing I'll do is -5/4 times 28. Now I am going to do this by hand since we're in test review time, and some of you all do know how to multiply fractions. You've already learned that. Some of you don't, and we'll do it in a calculator as well. Okay. But I'm going to do it by hand because this one's actually simple, because 4 and 28 have a common factor. Basically, 28 is divisible by 4. Remember, the number on the bottom of a fraction is like it's dividing. So I'm going to do the dividing before the multiplying. 28 divided by 4 is 7. I dealt with this, and now it's just -5 times 7, -35. Careful though, each time you pass it out, you're going to have to redo that because you're passing that division out as well as that multiplication, right? Two ways to think about this: timesing by -5/4 or timesing by -5 and dividing by 4. So I'm going to do that again. If I do, let's do the sign first, okay? A negative times a negative is a positive. And then I will divide by the 4 first. So dividing 16 by 4, I get 4. And then 5 times 4 is 20. But this time I had a p, so I'll have a p stuck on. And now, of course, this +1 is out of the grouping, so it's not involved in the multiplication. So it's just still there chilling. All right, I dealt with my multiplication. There is no division. It's time for addition and or subtraction. And in the world of algebra, we often just call that combining like terms because that's all we're allowed to add and subtract. I'll start with the p term, not because it's wrong if you do it the other way, but just this is what mathematicians usually do. They usually go from the highest exponent on the variable down to the constant, the plain old number going last. So I'll start with the 20p. And now I'll deal with the constant -35 plus 1. Well, I'm in debt 35 and I go up 1. I'm only going to be in debt 34. Yay, I paid off $1 of my debt. And again, you can do these calculations in your calculator. Oh, I promised you the fraction, so let me show you that. If I was doing negative, bust out a, oh, I'm doing it wrong. There we go. -5/4. I'm going back to the last one I promised I would do for you guys. Times 28, and you can see that it really was indeed -35. And if I had done -5/4, times, what was it? Negative 16. You can see that indeed I would get positive 20, like I had positive 20p. And now if I did negative 35 plus 1, I would get negative 34. So again, fractions don't boss you around anymore. Negative numbers don't boss you around. You don't need to panic at any of that. What you need to understand is algebra. And then if you can do this stuff by hand, great. I can do it by hand. I love to do fractions by hand, especially when multiplying. But if you can't, no big deal. Your calculator's got you. But you do need to know, hey, I'm done. This is as simple as it's going to get. These are not like terms. There's no more work to do here. All right, you guys. Good job. Proud of you. Look at us defeating fractions left and right. Happy learning.